almost.
Hello, Ren. Fancy seeing you here, sir.
Ah!
I hear there's a show going on, or something fancy.
There shall be a show that starts in 4 minutes. 4 minutes, ladies and gentlemen. Although we are already streaming on all of our platforms. 4
Where
minutes.
does time go, sir?
Don't know. Don't know.
No, fuck, that's not what I meant to hit.
And Zealeus is blowing something up. Have you started World War III yet?
Only with your concoction of drinks.
My concoction of drinks is ice water with Mio spilled in it.
That sounds
not spilled in it, but squeezed in it.
Watering.
I just need a little bit of extra flavor for my agua.
What's the matter? The nice crystal clear taste of water just isn't good enough for you?
It gets boring. I need something to spice up my life. I get one energy drink in the morning, and then it's basically Mio flavored water the rest of the day.
Nice.
Unless it's a Wednesday or a Sunday.
And then you
have some beer.
Enjoying other libations.
Yes. Yes. Shit, I forgot to take my pills.
I don't believe in pills. I believe in taking them straight into my veins.
No, my what do you call it? Acid reflux pills. Oh well.
Does it mean you're going to be basic tonight?
Just means that I'm going to have to take the pills and walk around for a bit before I can lay down.
You didn't see what I was trying to do there?
Yes, and I was going to ignore you, sir.
I thought it was hilarious, man.
Ah, Lord. Zealeus.
I know. Why do you keep me around?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I'm just glad I have a condenser mic so you can't hear my kids screaming upstairs. Not that they're in trouble or anything, but they are quite loud.
I mean, of course they're loud. They're doing their job. They're just letting you know that they're still alive.
Oh, hooray. You about ready, Zealeus?
I don't know. What am I ready for? Should I start playing some, like, PoE 2?
No.
Oh. What am I ready for then?
We're about ready to do our live show, sir.
Oh, shit.
So that we do every Thursday. Unless otherwise notified. All right. We scroll down here so I can make sure I mute Zealeus so he doesn't do anything awful during the intro.
Just don't forget to do your things correctly this time.
Yeah. I got it.
I don't remember what you've ever messed up because
I've already muted the desktop audio, so we're not getting the reverb. And I've got this right here. And we've checked our lines. We're good to go. All right, Zealeus, you're getting muted. I'm hitting record. Zealeus is muted. And go. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another Dish Shelter Confusion Thursday Night Hangout.
Hello, good sir. How goes it on this beautiful day?
It goes, and it's getting cold yet again in the wonderful city of Atlanta, though there is no snow in the forecast, so it's just cold.
You mean like the whole next week that feels like I'm actually living not quite in Minnesota, but too damn close for my liking?
Exactly. Ladies and gentlemen,
warm weather, damn it.
I'm sorry, Zealeus. Ladies and gentlemen, I, of course, am your host, Charlie, and I'm joined once again by the prolific commenter himself, Zealeus.
Indeed. It is good to be here. Good to be alive.
I almost made up a new word for you, which I don't know what that would have meant, but whatever.
It would have been the best word ever.
Of course. Ladies and gentlemen, this, of course, is the Thursday Night Hangout. It's a live show where we try our best to cover the topics most important to you during the show. At any point during the show, if you have any topics, questions, thoughts, opinions that you would like to add to the show, just add it to the chat and we will add it to the show. If we do unfortunately run out of time, we will add it to the very next show. So without further ado, let us get into the first story. Let's get the heavy hitting one out first. It I think it broke today. Yeah. That the director, as many people call him, the visionary director, David Lynch, has unfortunately passed away. I'm going to be totally honest with you. I don't know much of his stuff outside of Twin Peaks, which was phenomenal. But he has unfortunately passed away at the age of 78.
I most know him for the Dune version from like 1984.
Hold on, I pulled up his IMDb page just in case.
Year of the book called 1984, but still around there.
Dune was, oh crap, he had 1984.
Wow, I know something. Which was really good. I thoroughly enjoyed the David Lynch version of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
The trick with Dune, I mean, the new Dune movies were phenomenal, but there's so much with the visual effects that you just couldn't do 30 years ago. Like, it just wasn't possible.
Right.
But I feel like what he did with the resources available at the time, I enjoyed it. And it was very faithful to the book.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought it was good. I thought that, I know a lot of people didn't like it, but I think Sting played a hell of a Fade Ralpha, which I won't say why, because telling you why is a complete spoiler for anything with it. But I thought he was fantastic. I really enjoyed Sting in the role. So I thought it was good. I enjoyed it. Same with you, though. I think most of the David Lynch movies were like a little bit before our time. As far as why we started watching, and I'm not somebody who goes back and watches old movies typically either. That's just never been something I do.
Yeah.
But still, it's always, whenever, especially a director like him who is known for more creative endeavors, maybe than some other directors, in a good way.
Yes, his stuff definitely. If the all of his stuff, from my understanding, it's very memorable. So.
Yeah.
It's just unfortunate. I feel like he got sick because he was a massive chain smoker, and I think the smoking caught up with him.
Well, he's also like 76, so.
Yeah.
Well, cheers to Mr. Lynch.
Yes, indeed. Cheers, good sir.
When you first start being like, in big news, I'm like, okay, it's going to be one of two news stories.
Yeah. So, keeping it in the realm of movies, let's talk about the fact that Disney is being hit with a $10 billion lawsuit over Moana 2. Well, it's actually technically not about Moana 2. It's actually about Moana 1. But the guy who filed the lawsuit waited too long to sue for copyright infringement. And so he just basically renewed it when Moana 2 came out, because a lot of the concepts that were in Moana 1, of course, are going to translate into Moana 2 because it's a sequel. There's a gentleman by the name of, oh my gosh, I just lost his name now. Animator Buck Woodall is suing Disney for $10 billion, which is 2.5% of Moana's gross revenue.
Oh, all right.
Basically, he said that he came up with these story concepts for a screenplay called Bucky. And these are the similarities that he's judging or basing this lawsuit on. The first is the setting is in an ancient Polynesian village. A teenager goes on an ocean adventure that involves the spirits of ancestors manifesting as animals, which technically there was one ancestor that manifested as an animal. Said adventure begins because of a turtle. Yes, technically it did, because Moana was trying to keep the baby turtle safe so that it could go into the ocean. A symbolic necklace is important to the story. Yes, again. A supporting character is a hook-wielding demigod with tattoos. Okay, that's absolutely Maui. A large creature is hidden in a mountain. Yeah. The crew is sucked into a whirlpool portal. They didn't really get sucked into it. They were more like they fell into a portal to the underworld. So, yeah.
I feel like it feels like the Nintendo patent lawsuit against Pal World, where there's like those similarities,
Yeah.
but just how similar is it? I mean, I'm sure if we looked at other movies, I mean, think about like every book should basically be sued by the Tolkien estate because I like he literally started the fantasy genre. And other authors have used dwarves and elves and other beings that did not exist before he invented them. So does that mean that the Tolkien estate should have gone back and sued like every single author thereafter who used those fantasy concepts? Um, so that's where it gets a little bit sketchy to me. Um, but on the other hand, if it really is a case of this gentleman basically proposed this idea
Mm-hmm.
and they're like, oh, this is an interesting idea, waited a year, and then basically stole the idea, that's also a little bit sketchy too.
Yes.
So from his perspective, I can also understand why he feels the way he does.
Yeah. I mean, I see some. Yes, there's definitely some similarities. I mean, the blaring one that's absolutely like pretty hard to deny is a supporting character is a hook wielding demigod with tattoos. The rest of them, do you know how many stories are set in like an ancient Polynesian village, or if for for a lot of the fantasy novels, something that kind of resembles kind of like medieval Europe, but they just change the names.
Well, I don't think it's that any one of those. I think it's the number of similarities. I think that's where the contention is.
Yeah, let's see. He listed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 similarities.
Yeah, I think that's what it comes down. It's like you're right. If it was just the hook wielding demigod, then yeah, then there would be no case probably. But I think
Right.
it's when you get the 7 similarities, which to be fair, I'm not seeing the movie, so I can't really speak.
Well, I mean, the number 7, the crew gets sucked into a whirlpool. That's not really. First of all, there's not a crew. It's just 2 people. In my mind, a crew is like
a crew too, bro. We're a crew. We're the Alt Confusion crew.
Look, damn it, I've watched way too much One Piece, okay? A crew consists of a navigator, a captain, a shipwright, some muscle, a cook, a doctor, an archaeologist.
Okay, so let me ask you this. When you play FTL and all of your people died, you're down to 2.
Yep.
Is it still considered a crew when you have 2 people left?
No, it's called a lost cause because you're not going to make it to the end of the game. Yeah, I mean, I can. There's only one thing that absolutely 100% yup, but the rest of them, it's so vague. I mean, I could write. I mean, let's see here. Symbolic necklace is important to the story. Well, it's usually some sort of, heirloom. So it's a necklace. Could have been a ring. Could have been a crown. Could have been a toe tag for all I know.
I think that's the key, though. Was a necklace both in the original script and the movie?
True. I don't know.
I think that's the key. Is like not just an heirloom, but like how precise is it?
Right. Anyways, so this dude is suing Disney. My guess is this dude does not have millions and millions of dollars to keep a lawsuit alive, and my guess is either right or wrong, Disney is going to ask for extension after extension after extension until they either work something outside of the system with a huge NDA attached to it, or the guy who's suing has to just give up because he's out of Monet.
So I mean, once again, the oligarchs win.
Yep, usually the
Hooray!
case. Now, let's talk about something that is finally being done. Damn it! And it's probably why Zealeus and I are as messed up as we are, and that is, since the 80s, scientists have known that a certain red-colored dye causes cancer, and it's now 2025, and the FDA is finally banning that red dye, number 3, from many of your favorite snacks.
But don't you know that people should take the initiative to learn about the foods that they're eating and have the gumption to pull themselves up by the bootstraps and not eat the food with red 3? It's really just their fault that they're consuming this. And therefore, my tax dollars are going towards these dumb idiots.
Okay, so in all, there are over 3,000 products that contain red dye number 3. That includes fruit juices, beef jerky, sodas, and even some over-the-counter medications. I'm assuming to like colorize it.
Yep.
But yeah. Now, of course, in my mind, I'm going, "Oh my God, what red stuff have I ingested?" And
have you looked at the cup you're drinking lately?
No, that's my immediate thought was, does Mio have red dye number 3?
Does Mountain Dew Code Red have red 3?
I'm going to check in just
that
a
could
second.
Explain a lot.
Nope. Mio is red number 40.
Ooh, okay. You're safe then.
All right, and then Zealeus is going to talk for 2 seconds because I've got one bottle of Code Red left, and I'm going to see if it's got number 3, okay? So 1 second.
Go find your one bottle of Mountain Dew Code Red and see if it's got the 3. I have to know all about this.
Zealeus, you talk too much.
I try.
Let's see here. We have red 40 again.
All right.
So I'm safe. However, if people out there have, say, I don't know, I'm going to go to a random page because you could go to the EWG website, and apparently you can find all those, I guess, over 3,000 items. I don't know any of these things.
And to be accurate, you actually have until they actually have like 5 years. So it's not like tomorrow, all of a sudden.
No, they're not going to pull everything off immediately, but
yeah. So there is a little bit of a leeway for them.
You can. Okay, let's look at candies. I don't know any of these candies. God damn it. I want something that I know that people would have seen.
That you've been eating, like oh, this is why I'm probably dying.
Yeah, exactly. Here we go. Apparently, what? Star Wars, The Mandalorian, Grogu plush with conversation hearts? That's a toy, not a candy. I too
like to eat my plushes.
What the hell? I thought this... Oh no, apparently those conversation... I'm guessing that those are the those chalky-ass hearts you get for Valentine's. That's probably what will kill you. It's those Valentine chalk hearts.
I know other states had already banned it. Like I think California, if I remember, I had already banned it before this.
Yeah. No, it's just now it's official. Everyone needs to start slowly removing all this shit off the out of your warehouses. The mandate probably just states you're no longer allowed to use it going forward, but you're allowed to sell your inventory. Would be my guess. But who knows?
It looks like from what I've seen, from like looking at the list, it's more like fruity, not fruity, like candy or like things with frosting seems very prevalent.
Oh, I'm sure because you
Kind
want
of like,
that pure
yeah, kind
red
of like
color.
sugary type of things or beverages.
Yeah.
That's what it's not going to be like, red, I don't know, crackers. It'd
Yeah.
be like red velvet cake, I think
Yeah.
is where you see it from everything I've seen.
That bright, vivid red. How about
Yeah.
M&Ms? I think M&Ms they actually
Ooh.
they used to, but I think they took the step years ago to get to not have that color, that version
Ooh.
of red.
Maraschino cherries. Like, if they're not red on their own, you got issues.
Now, you want to talk about crazy. Let's talk about the craziness from the next story, and that is that, as we all know, there is a certain tradable card game out there that does cause people to go a little cuckoo. And there has been some there was definitely some violence that was caused by said trading card game, especially during the pandemic. And apparently that chaos has not slowed down, even though the pandemic is technically over. And that, of course, is the Pokemon trading card game. There is now, apparently, you can Google this and find video footage of individuals getting into fistfights and brawls in the middle of Costco to get those exclusive Pokemon card packs. Also, in the same locations, there is a heightened theft rate occurring for those specific items. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's why I saw the same videos for the specifically on Costco because that's where you can like buy the cards in bulk.
Yep.
So people come in and take like all of them, and I get it. Like on one hand, Costco doesn't really care because it's like we're making the money either way. So what's the big deal?
Yep.
But on the other hand, it's kind of shitty because like 98% of those are just being purchased to scalp.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's the crappy part. Like that I hate about it is they're just for pure scalping, and it just irritates me.
Yes, I mean, everybody is trying to find a way to make an extra buck, and it kind of. I don't even think it was that bad. With like, I mean, there's been some severe scalping when it comes to like new consoles, but I think more you're gonna get those. You're gonna the purchases of those are becoming less and less, are more and more focused on pre-orders online instead of in stores.
Well, I think the problem with the Costco situation was there was like no crowd control. It was like, remember like those old videos of like when the whole midnight Black Friday thing was like a real thing.
Oh yeah.
And you see like videos of people like literally same thing, like fights like this, trying to get the big ticket items. And that was the major problem with this is from everything I saw, it was just a big crate in the middle and it was just like a run it and get it.
Yep.
And it just created mass chaos because just terrible, or not even terrible, just no crowd control. So people left to their own devices are dumb people.
Now, I will say that at my local Kroger, this random Pokemon box showed up that is like it's a vending machine. It's not like a vending machine. It is a vending machine, and it has.
It's so like a vending machine. It actually is a vending machine.
It's so like it that it is. And it has like all Pokemon items. You could get like these boxes that could double as miniature lunch boxes and special packs and all that stuff. But yeah, people be crazy. I mean, I'll fully admit my kids buy Pokemon cards never to play the game. They just like the look of them. But we're not turning around and trying to sell them the next day.
Oh, people definitely buy them as an investment. I know a guy who has like 2 full unwrapped boxes of alpha cards for Magic
Mhm.
the Gathering.
Mm-hmm.
They're his retirement fund.
My retirement fund, I always break down.
Not to say, not to
No,
say.
no. I mean, I've got some Funko Pops. That's not going to be my retirement fund, but maybe I could sell them all and put a small amount of money towards a down payment for a kid's car when they actually turn of age.
That reminds me. I actually wonder how much my crypto is worth now. I'll look later.
There you go.
I saw it hit like $100,000 or something today.
There you go.
Maybe it's worth like $1.
Yeah. See, that's the thing though. Like that's what I don't understand about like Pokemon cards, because when with Magic the Gathering,
Yeah.
when Zealeus and I were playing it in our youths, there were definitely some cards that like had insane value, right?
Black Lotus.
But I
That's
felt
number
like
one.
the distribution was not as widespread as the Pokemon trading card games. I feel like Pokemon cards have flooded the effing market, and yet they're still expensive as hell. So I don't. It. I would think that it would be kind of like comic books. They're like, oh, comic books are a great investment. And you've got a couple of comic books that were when we were growing up that was like $75, and now those that would have been $75 because they're like, well, we want to put as many comic books in everyone's hands as possible. Now they're like $7 if you're lucky.
Is it the case though where they're still going for like that one rare card? So it's like a gotcha. I mean, that's basically what CCGs are, is real life gotcha.
Right.
And I wonder if that's what they're trying to do, is like find those couple of cards that are rare enough that are still worth money.
Maybe, but still, the vast majority of the market should be just like oversaturated with what would be considered rare, uncommon, and common cards.
I feel like we need to call in a friend of an economist and be like, help us dive into this.
Help us understand what the hell is going on, because it looks like the supply is a pretty steady stream.
But from what we saw at Costco, the supply is not meeting the demand threshold. Therefore, the price goes up.
Yes, I guess. I don't know. Shit. I don't know. It's chaotic. It's absolutely.
No, I'm assuming they're gambling for those few rare cards.
Yeah.
My
maybe.
assumption. And you hope you come out with the prismatic dragon.
The super shiny prismatic mega evolution of fluffy Pikachu. I don't know.
Exactly. There you go. That's my lottery ticket to retiring.
There you go. Now, speaking of
go to Costco today.
Speaking of, I guess exclusiveness. I know we talked about this last week about all the leaks about the Switch 2 coming out, and Nintendo basically going,
and now Nintendo it's not real. It's not coming out.
And now Nintendo has officially given their Switch 2 release trailer.
Oh, no way.
So it is a real thing. I mean, I saw like a teaser trailer for it, so I can't give you like the full in depth. But
I mean, it was the 2-minute video. Did you watch that?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yes, Nakamoto, it exists.
Yeah, that's the video. It's the 2.5 minute video with really good graphic design.
Yep. Yes. I like that the kickstand is longer, so it doesn't sit so precarious on tables.
Last one was honestly pretty useless.
Yeah.
Unless it was at the exact perfect angle in relation to the Earth's rotation, it just fell over.
I do wonder about the way the Joy-Cons connect, and I'm also very curious about the way that it looked like the Joy-Cons could be used as a mouse, or one of them could be used as a mouse.
Yeah, that's the big speculation I've been reading, is a lot of people are very worried about the Joy-Cons reliability, because like the current one, it's just like it slides into a guide.
Yeah, locks into it.
It locks into it. So like, I mean, yes, you can break anything, but like
absolutely,
it was pretty damn sturdy.
Yeah.
Whereas now, from the look of it, you basically just have like one little clip that goes into, which we're assuming is magnetic, but that's also where like your connector pins are.
Yep.
Whereas like in the past, your connector pins like weren't exposed at all because of the way it's slid in. So like there was really nothing to get into the connector pins. Whereas now it looks like
We're going
it's just
back to
all,
the NES days of having to blow on the connector pins to make sure the connection's good.
apparently that's prescient because for Christmas I got a brand new electronic air blower. So apparently I got it because this I knew the Switch 2 was going to have these Joy-Con connectors.
Funny story, I bought one myself last week. And now I'm like, oh damn, I'm
We're
good.
ready. But that is understandably, I think, a big worry because even like when you're holding it, like in the regular mode, and you have those, like it doesn't look like it's going to be as rigid, like almost like I can pull it off by accident.
Yeah,
is how it looks, honestly. Like you get really into a Hades game, and you start like, oh, come on, and also it just pops off, and you're like, son of a bitch.
The
So
fast button mashing causing your hands to kind of flippy, and then
yep.
Yeah,
and that's I think most people's understandable big concern is just how secure is that connection and what is like how protected are those pens when because that's the other big selling point of the Switch is you pop off the Joy-Cons and now you pop it into that I don't know what the doohickey thing is called. Or you basically use them individually, which are phenomenal features. But like, if it's going to almost degrade the lifespan because your connectors are now exposed, it's like, interesting. I hope it's not some cheesy thing where like, when you take out the Joy-Con, you have to like put on this other piece of plastic or rubber to protect it because that'd just be totally lame.
Ah, yes. You as soon as you unplug it, then you have to put the protector over the cover.
Exactly, because we either know. I mean, it'll get lost 100%. Like, everybody who owns a Switch would just lose it. It's going to happen. So that's a little bit worrisome. However, the good thing is,
Nakamoto, we're going to see the Joy Condom. It's exactly what's going to happen.
Okay, one of the good things is, speaking of Joy Condom, I do appreciate that they didn't come up with some stupid name like the Wii U. They just called it nice and simple, straightforward, to the point. Switch 2.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it's not like the Switcheroo or the SwitchCon or the Switchy Poo or some idiotic name. We're like, oh, damn it. Nope, just Switch 2. We can go with that.
Yeah. There's still time for it to change names, though, Zealeus.
Sorry, one time?
I said there's still time to change names.
That's fair. Okay, the Switchy Poo, I'm totally buying.
Switchy Poo.
Is I do appreciate that the Switch 1 games are fully backwards compatible, including the cartridges with the Switch 2. It makes sense because it's basically the same device, but still, it's very great that they did that. I mean, it seems to be the theme with consoles nowadays, the backwards compatibility, but still, you never actually know.
Right.
Especially if the cartridge is from the Switch 1 are backwards compatible. My question is, will the saves transfer over to a Switch 2?
Nakamoto. After Switch 3, we get the Nintendo Switchy 4.
There you go. That's when they start going crazy. So yeah, I hope the saves transfer over, like there's some kind of transfer save mechanism between Switches. There is a dock, obviously.
Yes, but do we? But what kind? Do we hear anything about the dock?
Yeah, they've beyond the teaser video that basically just shows the physical Switch. Really, other than the backwards compatibility of the Switch 1 and Switch 2, there's like literally no information given.
Okay.
That's all we know. Switch 1 games work with a Switch 2. Beyond that, who the F knows?
Yeah.
So we'll see. The other big question that nobody actually knows the answer to is what is the screen? Is it going to be LCD or OLED?
I've heard rumors that it's LCD though,
which would be lame. Like honestly, if it comes out and it's LED, I'm like, do I just wait a year for the OLED model anyways? Because they're going to come out with one, right?
Yeah.
At this point, I mean, they did for Switch 1, so why wouldn't they do LED for Switch 2? So honestly, I just probably wait for the OLED model if the Switch 1 does not have, if the Switch 2 V1 does not have OLED.
What you're looking for is the Switch 2 Pro.
The Switch 2 Ultra Maxi.
No, no.
I had more to say, but I stopped for everyone's benefit.
Yes, please, God, no.
So no, I think it's a bigger screen too.
Yeah. It looks like those analog sticks are a little bit more substantial than the original Switch analog sticks.
They do. I did see that. I'm assuming that the Pro controller will be nice and backwards compatible.
Yes. Well, I would assume so. I mean, it's just they're not going to try to reinvent the wheel. They're just going to keep it with Bluetooth.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great controller.
Yeah,
it's actually, it might be my favorite controller. I just wish it actually worked with the PC better.
Mm-hmm.
So I love that controller so much. So yeah, no, I think and it was what, April 2nd was release date, I think.
For which one?
The Switch 2.
You can starting tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern time, you can do a ticket registration.
Excuse me.
Gazoon time.
Thank you.
But
okay, that's what it is. So they have the Nintendo Switch 2 experience at host cities in April.
Yep. And that's where you can sign up for the ticket registration. And those host cities are, I believe, New York, LA, Dallas. I don't know if the LA. My heart goes out to all those individuals affected by what's happening in Los Angeles. I don't think that Nintendo is going to be able to host their LA event.
Yeah.
Atlanta's available though. Just saying.
So I was right. So it's just sometime in 2025.
Yep.
We don't actually know the date.
Yep. So
interesting.
Yes.
I'm excited about it.
Yes.
I'm assuming you are, because I know you play it.
Oh yeah, I do, and I'd be very interested to see. Now, my understanding is that the new Mario Kart is going to have up to 24 players.
I think we also seeing is a lot of parents buying the Switch 2, and all of a sudden the Switch 1 magically finds its way to a child's hand.
Yes, that too.
I think that's going to be a very common path.
Here you go, sonny boy. Some ancient technology from yesteryear.
But look, the screen is still colored and the battery lasts more than 10 minutes.
Ta-da! Unlike my Game Gear that I just stopped buying batteries and just bought the adapter to plug it into the wall.
Yep.
Because holy crap, 6 batteries every 3 hours is expensive.
Yes, they are.
And
yes.
Also gets really hot.
It's just a little hand warmer. You can save on heating bills.
It's a severe hand warmer.
Nice.
Yes. Okay.
It was Sega's way of trying to tell you to stop playing when it gets too hot.
Oh, whatever. Sega can't control me.
Oh.
Okay, let's talk about the next thing, and this also deals with games, but sadly, well, I don't know. Excitingly enough, in the year of 2024, on Steam, it was reported that 19,000 games came to the platform.
That's a lot of games.
A huge number for a single year. Now, that being said, in the same survey, it was found that of those 19,000, 80% of them had almost no players. Now, I do understand. Okay, so here's the thing. I understand that every single game that comes on a platform, no matter if it's Steam or the iPhone or Google Play or whatever, is going to be a hit. So I understand that there might be some diehard people out there. They'll, 1 to, let's say, 90, 99. So double digits, up to double-digit players. there's going to be those type of people, and then there's going to be those individuals who think that they have. I don't want to hurt anybody's souls, so I'm not going to name any exact games. I'm not going to look up which ones don't have any players, but there are people out there who think that this is a great game, and they spit it out way too early, and maybe one or two people bought it and they saw how broken it was, and so it just died basically on arrival.
Yep.
Or DOA. There are quite a few of those, and then there's also those people who basically think that they can utilize. Okay, let me make. I've been standing on this soapbox for many, many, many years. There is systems out there like RPG Maker that allow you to create your vision or your story, and you can, it's basically pre-generated worlds, but you could kind of change some stuff out. You've got access to a bunch of assets and whatnot. But if it's, I personally will never pay for a game that was made in RPG Maker. I won't do it. Because, I mean, it would be cool to try out, and maybe that's your stepping stone to showcase, your story. Your storyboarding, or perhaps your level design, but no.
Why not? I mean, if it's a good game, what does it matter what the source of the game creation is?
I don't know. I'm a purist, damn it. I
mean, every developer nowadays uses AI in some form or fashion anyways.
True. I don't know. Because I also tinkered around with.
You want them to program it like Railroad Tycoon, and it only has to be piled in assembly?
I was part of a Railroad Tycoon mobile game. That was yeah. Anyways,
there you go.
And we built that bad boy from the ground up. Gosh darn it. No, I feel like, I don't know. In some regards, yes, I know I feel like it's more when you do something through like an RPG Maker. I view it more as like a community mod. I don't know. I know we've tried. I know a lot of companies have tried several times to find a way to get the modders some money for their time and their effort, and it's always backfired.
Yeah,
for the most part. And so for me, unfortunately, sorry people, but for me, that's how I view RPG Maker created games, generated games, whatever. But yeah, so 19,000, 80% of them basically have next to no players.
Yeah.
I just,
I mean, it's a tricky situation because it's like, on one hand, like video game development has been democratized, right? Anyone can release a game.
Yeah.
Versus like when we were growing up, like your game had to basically be approved by like the Segas or the Nintendos, and then also make it onto the shelf space, right? Like that was the only way to do it. You like the small little indie developers couldn't really do that.
No.
Whereas now you have that, the platform for the indie devs to be able to release games on Steam, and now other consoles, to be fair, like the PS5 and Xboxes, you can do on there now too, because of the digital access.
Right.
But the shovelware, and it's also a problem on the iOS too, is just the amount of shovel you get there, because everyone wants to make, and I'm not saying this in a negative way when I say this, but everyone wants to make that buck from producing their video game.
Right.
And it's a conundrum because, like, on one hand, it's like the floodgates have been opened up, so now anyone can release it in the R, say of 18,000 games, versus if you locked it down, you might cut some of those out. And also, like, if you're a Steam, how the hell do you moderate 18,000 games? I mean, really,
right.
Like, you need a crazy workforce to be able to, like, check to see if the game is a legitimate game or not. Which
the amount of overhead would be insane.
Its own nebulous term.
Yeah.
Even having community voting has its own pitfalls because the game could easily get review bombed, as we've seen so freaking often. So it's really a tough situation to deal with as far as what to do because from a consumer perspective, it does kind of suck because it would be nice to kind of like remember back in the day with Steam Greenlight.
Yep.
Um,
And Jesus, did they
what,
abuse the system for that?
yeah, which was a platform to, in theory, highlight some of these indie games
And
from the
even
crowd.
bankroll them to some extent.
Yeah. So there have been attempts over the past, but it's just at a certain point, there's just so many that it's like, yeah. And I know Steam has tried things like you can't like get achievements unless you have a certain threshold.
Yeah.
So I appreciate their attempts. Um, but even then, it's still what like 4 to 5 thousand games meet that threshold.
Right.
That's still a lot.
Yeah. No, I mean the fact of the matter is that 18,000 sounds like a lot. But there is some moderating, there is a little bit of gatekeeping. So some of the shovelware, the scams, the simple art asset flipping,
Yeah,
is taken care of. But as an individual and as a group of like-minded individuals for Alter Confusion, we want the independent creative spirit to be alive and well, but at the same time, one of the pitfalls is that there are a lot of individuals out there who get desperate and maybe go the easy route, the scam route, basically releasing a quote-unquote new game, which is just literally they just put new art assets into it.
Yep.
And then increase the number by 1. Or if they're being really tricky, they'll add something else to the name so that it looks cool and original. And you've got those individuals out there who this is their first game, and so they're getting all the attaboy buddy pats on their back, and then they become absolutely crushed when no one buys their game. It's for those developers out there or creators out there, what I can tell you, and I've said this a million times and I'll say it a million times more until I'm basically on my deathbed. Go to conventions, find local game or developer or some sort of if you're an author, find the local author group. Find individuals that are willing, that are all in the same kind of situation, that can help bounce ideas off or show off your game. If you have, if you are, I don't know, a dragon lord running through a shopping mall platformer game. Show it off to people. Go to conventions. Get it in front of individuals who don't know you. That's the important thing. That don't know you, because there's a chance. Yes, you're going to get people who are going to be like, this is ass. But you're also going to get those individuals who actually want to help out and will tell you, this is not as good as it could be. Here are some thoughts. And then you can take them or you can leave them. But I will be completely honest with you. The more you allow for the criticism, constructive criticism, to get into your brain and allow you to maybe think, oh, I didn't think about that, the better your product is going to end up being.
What if my product is already perfect, sir?
Impossible.
You people just don't understand the perfection.
Oh, now you're Jonathan Blow. Oh my God. Way to go,
you don't
Zealeus.
play it the way you're supposed to play.
You're supposed to play. That's not how you play my game.
You know what? I'm going to actually release a game that has AI built into it. So when you launch it, it purely plays the correct way only. You can't actually interact with the game. It's like a visual novel. That
so it's just an idle game.
You can't even interact with.
It's just an idle game.
You know what I actually hate? Or like, you see like, oh, this is like a game, like those action iPhone idle games.
Yeah.
But like they're MMO games where like you can't even like control your character. They just like go do their thing. And like, I don't understand what this game is. It's like an MMO where my character like auto does everything? Why? I
Yes.
don't understand.
Yes, it's all dice. It's behind the scene dice rolls that you don't control, but you can get your name and your pretty little icon avatar next to it, and you could feel
Oh,
special, or get
hmm.
really sad because you weren't willing to pay as much as the next person, and so you don't have the super rainbow ultra dragon um, unicorn core of awesomeness that gives you 10,000 times bonus points.
But I don't have my mom's credit card to accidentally charge $600 anymore.
Oh man, those were the days. Good old Farmville. Which,
Back
by the
when you
way,
had to like,
we never did that. We never used our parents' credit cards
no, we never
to
actually did.
buy
Actually,
things at
that was
Farmville.
they didn't actually those type of gotcha games didn't really exist when we were still kids.
Yes. By the time those gotcha games were out, it was going to be on our own dime.
And good Lord, my parents would have beat me if I did that. And I say that in the most loving way possible.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to pause real quick to thank the individuals who help Alter Confusion be the beautiful and amazing Alter Confusion that we are today. And these, of course, are our friends of the show. So without further ado, whoa, hello. I hit the wrong button. Let us start off with the Indie Cluster. The Indie Cluster is an independent The Indie Cluster is an organization of independent game developers that want to gain exposure by being involved in the community. They collectively journey to popular conferences as a traveling booth to help gain attention for their games. They make partnerships in local communities to bring games to the mainstream mindset. They highlight local, unusual, and rare concepts to challenge the paradigm of the common. They also host events to teach kids and minority groups about game development to hopefully one day enter the industry themselves. For more information, go to indiecluster.com.
And this week their website works, so I got to post it.
Huzzah! The next shout out we got to give is to the AV master himself. That, of course, is Noodle Boy Media. Founded in 2015 by Andrew Tran. Noodle Boy Media, previously White Kid 47 Media, is your choice for professional photo shoots and panel recordings at conventions. They pride themselves in providing a high level of professionalism, top-notch experiences, and quality services. If you want more information and to view their full list of services, check out facebook.com/noodleboymedia. The next shout out we got to give is to an individual who helps get those aches and pains out of your body after long gaming sessions or just sitting in front of a computer. That, of course, is if you're in the greater Atlanta area, and that is Hero Chiropractic. Hero Chiropractic is a unique healthcare practice set up by Ryan Moore. The company's focus to elevate a patient's experience of freedom, creative expression, and joy. They believe that everyone can be a hero and has incredible heroic potential inside themselves waiting to be unleashed. Hero Chiropractic focuses on mobile chiropractic care in the greater Atlanta area. They are committed to healing clients by creating a plan of action uniquely suited for each person. They make that plan of action as convenient and affordable as possible, and most importantly, suited to your individual needs. For more information, go to herochiropractic.com. And oh, by the way, he was here today to help get some of those aches and pains out of me because I jacked up something in my body and needed it to be adjusted.
Isn't that just living?
This is true. The next shout out we got to give to is the music maestro himself. That of course is CrossPad Creative. Need a new logo or want to work on a full branding and content strategy? Or maybe you need music or audio for your content, just like Alter Confusion? CrossPad Creative offers a whole host of solutions for individuals and small businesses. Just email Josh at crosspadcreative@gmail.com and see what he can do for you. The final shout out we got to give is the original backer through Patreon, and that, of course, is Agile Axiom. By day, Ax leads both the development team and system administration team working with satellites at NASA's Goddard campus. But while not in meetings and many times during, he is the Agile evangelist, Agile Ax, championing the philosophy of Agile and trying to make the world a better place for software developers, testers, system admins, and software projects the world over. Decades of experience in software development and leading agile teams are brought to bear against evil processes, inefficient work, and bad habits. For more information, go to agileaxiom.com. Now, of course, at this very moment, you've got to be asking yourself, how do I become a friend of the show? Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's quite simple. Alter Confusion survives on the love and support of fans like you, and that's why we have a Patreon page. Patreon lets you, the fans, lovers, haters, demigods, interdimensional beings, gods, demons, aliens, werewolves, vampires, swamp creatures, mummies, invisible men, zombies, supporters, and more and more. Become active participants in the work we love through a monthly membership. This gives you access to exclusive content, community, and insight into our creative process. In exchange, we gain a bit more freedom to do our best work and the stability we need to build an even stronger creative career. We currently have 2 tiers that you can pledge at. We've got the $1 a month tier. That's $1 a month or $12 a year. What that gets you is early access to all of our playthroughs, which right now it's the first chapter of the Expanse, the Telltale game. And also the ability to participate in patron-only posts. If you're feeling extra frisky, there's the $5 a month. That's $5 a month or $60 a year. What that will get you is everything at the $1 tier, plus your name or organization added to every single Friends of the Show section of every single Thursday night hangout. So if you want to become a patron of Altered Confusion, go to Patreon. That's patreon.com/Altered Confusion today. Now, if you are dying to get your hands on maybe some amazing Altered Confusion merch, I unfortunately am not wearing my hat, but we have hats. We've got stickers. We've got coffee mugs. We've got
Notebooks.
pet bowls. I want to say dog bowls, but I don't want to. It's not only dogs can eat out of it. Cats can too.
You can also use it as a cereal bowl.
That too. Or you can have your flip-flops. All you got to do is go to alteredconfusion.tv/merch, and you can check out what is available there.
Nice.
All right. Now, back to the stories. Okay. There is I want to know. Hold on. Some of you may have experienced, especially during the years of COVID, that there are certain games that are damn near impossible to play if you don't have friends available to play the game. There are some games out there that are starting to release something pretty dang sweet, and that is variations to their rules that allow for solo games, which I think
for
is
those of us with no friends, we can play board games.
Yes, which I think is pretty fucking cool. Now if you go to, I think it's on Polygon, there's a couple. I think there's 2 or 3 games on there that have that distinction. However, there are still a bunch of games out there. There's still developers out there, creators, that are working on single versions of games. Now, I think, to be honest with you, I think that there's definitely going to be games out there that are just impossible to play solo. Though, I mean, technically, Dungeons and Dragons, if you can basically truly wear different hats, you can do one of the pre-made campaigns.
I mean, one thing they did with Pathfinder, it's basically not Pathfinder, name of the game. It's a board game. It's like in a blue box, I can picture it, but it's basically, it's like a D&D for combat without being story heavy. And you can play with a mobile phone GM. Because a lot of the, modules have pre-generated assets as far as enemies and stuff goes.
Right.
So I played that duo before a couple of times, but I see no reason, to your point, if you want to control 3 heroes, there's no reason it couldn't be single player.
Right. Yeah, I mean,
Descent. That's what it is.
What is it called?
Descent, I'm pretty sure.
Descent. That sounds right.
Yeah, it's Descent. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a great idea. I mean, the other thing is that sometimes, and I will include myself in this, there are certain games out there that I'm really interested in playing. And maybe I even go as far as to buy the board game. But then I get kind of like stage fright when I have like a bunch of people over, like, oh, what should we play? And I've got this game that I really want to play, but chances are no one else has played it. And I don't want it to Zealeus and I have experienced this. I don't want it to basically devolve into everyone's sitting around for 6 hours reading rules and not actually getting to play the game. Or we start playing the game and we play it. Okay.
Was
There
it
are
very
times
exciting reading the rules, I'll have you know.
there are times where when you have a group of individuals who've never played a game, and you may play it incorrectly, but you have the time of your life. That's fine. That's great.
Agreed.
There's no one going to be breathing down your neck going, well, that's not how you play it. But you also have to understand that if you do have your own little homebrew variations, that if you were to play, say, Arkham Horror with a bunch of veterans, you may be playing a different game than you were with your buddies who were in the same boat as you.
You mean card games like 500 and Hand and Foot, where it feels like every single house you go to has a different set of rules?
Yes. Apparently, there's a card game called Prez.
I don't know that
It's
one.
called President, but everyone just calls it Prez. It's a hot card game with the kids,
Sure.
and apparently the variation that my kids learn is totally different than the official edition, and I accidentally reduced both of my sons to tears when I said, no, that's not how you're supposed to do it. Because I'm reading it right off the official website. I'm like, you have to do it this way. That's not how we play the game. No one ever does that.
Remember, you just have to get constructive criticism and then let them choose for themselves whether or not they want to heed your words.
There is a game called Racco. It's it's a 2 to 4 player game, where you have these cards and you're trying to sort them in order. You've got a rack, and the cards go, I think, from 1 to 60, and you're just basically trying to get cards in order.
Sure.
So you're dealt out a random assortment of cards. You put them in your rack, and then you have to you either draw a card or take the card that's on the draw pile and add it to your deck, and then basically change out wherever the spot is. So you're going back and forth. My family loves that game. We don't play it correctly because we don't care about the scoring aspect. It's just enough for us to just scream Rico.
It's reasonable.
And then we let everyone else kind of just do it. There's like, rules about, well, so that ends play. How many people? How close is everyone else? You get points for having this many cards actually in order. And we're just like, we don't care. We just, we're not keeping score.
Yep.
That's something that I've learned the hard way. There's a lot of games out there that we can't play in my house because when we keep score, feelings get hurt.
Sounds like the kids need to learn how to lose with dignity.
There is a phenomenal game that we learned about thanks to an anime. There's an anime called After School Dice Club, and it's literally an anime. There's some like teenage romance stuff that's kind of off the side, but the vast majority of it is a group of schoolgirls who get together after school and play board games or card games, stuff that mostly they're the kind of games you would find like at hobby shops. And I personally will say that there's a game called Take 5 that is awesome. It is so much fun, but it can also you can lose really, really bad in a single round. Basically, you've got point totals and everything. But it's a fun game,
Nice.
and it's really easy to pick up. We also got another game called Escape the Island, which is a little bit more complicated and does not run as smoothly. But yeah,
I've played Forbidden Island.
I've got Forbidden Island. Apparently, there's a variation of that's actually it's like an island in the sky, which I think is pretty cool.
Like a song.
Let's see if I could do it after school. There it is. I'm gonna put the anime in the chat here. Okay, I think this is the Wikipedia thing for maybe the manga, but you can just take it from there and find the anime, which is available on Crunchyroll for those out there who watch Crunchyroll.
Of course it is.
But yeah, okay, I've put this off long enough. Let's talk about the article that just came out in the New Yorker magazine, revolving around what was once one of my favorite sci-fi. Zealeus is leaving now.
I'm done.
So yeah, Neil Gaiman is a very, 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 very dirty, bad, evil man, and I'm like all the movies and the books that I read that I fell in love with. Now I feel dirty
It's kind of the
supporting this
old
man.
saying, never meet your heroes.
Yeah, yeah. This is definitely one of
The
those
same thing
cases.
was it was Josh Whedon too, right? I mean, I know that was a number of years ago.
Yeah, Joss Whedon, Neil Gaiman.
Because I mean, there are guys who have stories that it seems like they'd be good people. I mean, just
Yeah,
based off the stories they write and their stories, you're like, oh yeah, like you would think some of what they're writing is a part of them, if that makes sense.
yeah.
Like that's why they're writing because they're speaking from themselves. Um, and I think that's sometimes what makes it hurt even more is you kind of build up like, yeah, because they write these good, wholesome stories, or maybe not wholesome always, but they usually have those messages in them.
Mm-hmm.
You would think some of that would be a part of who they are.
Yeah.
Or maybe they take the stories that they're writing to heart.
Now I do want to point this out. I mean, we just named there are a lot of very, very bad men in Hollywood and in positions of power. Oh, that's a bad word to use in this case, but there are also individuals who are not male who are also very, very bad people. So I don't want to, I'm not saying that there's more of one over the other, but I feel like, I mean, there's a lot of people out there who will never, ever, 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 ever want anything to do with J.K. Rowling's anymore.
Sure.
Now,
And
if
of
she wants
course,
to
then
do what
becomes
Neil Gaiman is doing,
the thorny issue of if the creator of a IP does
mm-hmm.
something reprehensible,
Mm-hmm.
are you supporting that person
Right.
and what they did or their beliefs or whatever you want to insert here, by also then supporting their work?
Right.
And I think that's where it becomes a thorny issue. Um, I think there's degrees to it. Like it's kind of like what's your person going towards? Is it going towards the person? Is it going towards, a different medium creation person? So I think there are degrees, but at the end, it's what I will say is I don't think, like, let's just take Harry Potter because that's
Yeah.
a pretty open one with J.K. Rowling. I don't
Yep.
think because you purchase Harry Potter books, for instance,
Mm-hmm.
that you support Rowling's and that you're transphobe because you purchase their content.
Right.
If someone wants to boycott their stuff because they believe that, then more power to them. But I don't think just because you do that inherently makes you also support their beliefs.
Right. No, but I do want I in my opinion I'll take this just my
Yep.
own step here. I think that for me, there are Harry Potter is a huge brand now. I mean, you've got theme park rides, you've got candy, movies, theatrical plays, books, of course, video games, and I guess for the vast majority of them, if I think that J.K. Rowling is a terrible, terrible person, I think that I would be more in line with just not buying her book, what her main medium is. She's an author, so I won't support her in that fashion. But I am not going to dick over all these amazingly talented individuals who helped create Hogwarts Legacy, or who are the masterminds behind trying to make I don't know, some sort of theme ride based off of a Harry Potter property. I'm not going to dick those people over because they're using their own creative juices and stuff to basically make this happen.
thankfully I already own all 7 of the Harry Potter books, so I don't actually ever have to purchase them again.
Yes, I as well. And I unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on the day, I owned not one, but 2 complete Blu-ray sets for the movies, although I still have several issues with, well, yeah, 8 movies, sorry. I don't know if I said 7, but
You have
8 movies.
issues with everything.
Yes, I do. Now, of course, with Neil Gaiman, I won't buy his stuff anymore, which hurts because I liked the Sandman books. I loved the Graveyard book, the Anansi brothers, Stardust. But at the same time, I never really got into Good Omens, so I kind of
watched
want
the first couple of episodes on Amazon Prime, and they just didn't grab me. I don't know.
I like the actors. I was just kind of like, oh, okay, this is interesting.
Yeah, there was nothing wrong with that. Like, it wasn't one of those things where there's nothing bad about it.
Yeah.
I mean, the acting was phenomenal, honestly.
Yeah.
It's just the story itself was like, I don't know. It just didn't draw me in.
And then you have on Netflix, you have Sandman.
Interesting.
And
Which you like?
Oh, I loved Sandman.
I do think sometimes there are some, and I've said this about some things, like for instance, like Name of the Wind.
Mm-hmm.
I never want to see as a show because there are some things that just I think in certain mediums are perfect. I think a good example is actually the Graveyard book.
Yeah,
like the Graveyard book, right? Just putting aside the author for a moment,
right?
For the actual book itself, it's a great book, a great read.
Yeah,
but it's something where if it's a TV series or a movie, I don't think I'd be very interested in it.
And they were good. They were in the process of working on a deal, and then all the first allegations came out about Gaiman, and I think it was Amazon was at the table, and they backed away.
Like, nope. So there's some things like written pieces for me. I'm like, nope, just keep it in the written form, and it's all it needs to be.
Yeah.
I actually think that would actually be a better anime than a live action show.
Anyways, what, the Graveyard?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just me.
Because I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on in there that it would help if it was an animated form, because you could get away with a lot more.
Yeah.
But yeah. Never meet your heroes.
I'm just never going to read about my heroes ever again and just live in ignorant bliss. So I never have to deal with a moral quandary ever again.
If someone ever comes up to me and goes, hey, is this one of your favorite authors, actors, game creators? I will go, I plead the fifth, and I will walk away, because I can't take ruining, you know.
If you ever hear anything bad about Sarah J. Maas, like the entire young adult fiction genre will just collapse overnight.
Yep.
It's just done with.
Yeah. Anyways. All right, ladies and gentlemen. I think we've reached the end of our show. So, I want to thank everyone for tuning in to the Ultra Confusion Thursday Night Hangout. For myself, Charlie, and Zealeus, it's been a pleasure getting ready to come our heads, our mouths, and of course, our hearts. We'll be back next Thursday for another Ultra Confusion Thursday Night Hangout.
Remember, kids, keep on gaming in the free world.
Amen to that, brother. Huzzah! We made it to the end again.
We did it? Are you sure about that?
Yeah, I'm pretty damn sure we did. All right, now I could close this picture of Neil, or this article with Neil Gaiman staring at me. Jesus, this is creepy.
Nice.
What you been playing? I mean, you've been just playing PoE 2, right?
Correct. Yeah, that's been my game. PoE 2ing, crushing enemies with my bare fist.
I've been playing more of that backpack RPG, and some finally got to stream on a Tuesday.
Nice.
Didn't have any weird ass shit going on, so I played some Warframe.
I did see that. I was playing PoE. I'm like, Ultra Confusion is now playing Warframe. I was like, oh, interesting.
And of course, my brain kept, I don't know, maybe I've got too much Henry Cavill on the mind, but I kept calling it Warhammer and going, no, that's not right. And then the one time I said, yeah, I've been playing, I'm trying to get back into War for Ham, no, for, I kept bouncing frame, Ham, yeah. But the first chapter of The Expanse, the Telltale series, is available for early access, and the second chapter is going to go up sometime next week.
Nice.
So I've already got those. I mean, the first one's already up. The second one's already queued to go, and then I got to get back to playing and recording the third, fourth, and fifth, because I think there's 5 in total.
Yes.
I think. Let me make sure. Bam. Go to the store page. Yes, I am of proper age.
Are you though?
Yep, 5 episodes. Last time I checked, Zealeus, I am the proper age to play any game, though there are still games out there that I refuse to play because just looking at the title or the screenshots make me feel icky.
You can look in and be like, oh, okay
it's
then.
Like, oh, yeah, that type of simulator. Yeah. No, thank you.
Oh, I see now. It's going to be that kind of game.
Yeah, that kind of game. This is very dangerous for me. I'm looking at the special offers right now. What is this? Ooh, I could play Smite 2 beta right now. Or
I'm guessing my purchases don't carry over.
Or I could get the Smite 2 Ultimate Founders Edition.
Yay.
For 25% off. So instead of $100, it will only be $75.
There you go.
You get all the Deluxe Founders Edition content, plus Tier 5 Cross-Gen The Fallen Zeus skin, Smite 2 The Fallen Avatar, Cross-Gen Smiter title, and all Ascension passes for all 23 Alpha Gods. So how many? Okay, so I guess 23 gods to start it off. All right, well. I know that High Res like splintered in like 3 different studios, but so who exactly is in charge of Smite these days? I mean, yes, technically it's all High Res, but what is the name of
good question.
This Titan Forge Games is the developer. Oh, memories of going to Smite World Championship. I think I did that 2 or 3 years in a row. I
think I went 2 years.
Well, that was a lot of fun.
Because you went a year before I did, I know.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds about right. Ooh, the most dangerous thing to do on Steam. Click here to begin exploring your discovery queue. Because, oh dear God, the things that you can accidentally run into. But yeah. Anyways. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to end this stream. I'm going to talk to Zealeus offline, but everyone